Well, good morning. I'm in a dried up creek bed this morning testing out this new little hatchet by BeaverCraft. This is the BeaverCraft AX1. They're calling it a compact carving hatchet, and I really want to talk about the uses for this and really compare it to probably one of the most popular hatchets out there, and that is the Gränsfors Bruk's wildlife hatchet. So let's get into it. So the philosophy of use for a little hatchet like this is for bushcrafting, carving, camping, hiking. I say camping, hiking because you can easily, because of the size, you can easily just throw this into a pack, something like that. The other thing this comes with, and I'll talk about this more in just a moment, is that you can just carry this on your belt. It has this belt loop right here, so you can just slide that in there and have that on you. So it's a nice cowhide leather belt loop. Of course, it comes with a sheath, or you might want to call that a mask. Some people call this a mask on here. I'll go ahead and take that off. Again, both those nice leather. I mean, it's really nicely done on that. So nice clasp. The head is 1066. It is a hardened steel, at least on the bit up here. On the pole is not. So this is not going to be for something that you want to bang, you know, rock or metal or anything like that. So you don't want to use this as a hammer for that. I mean, you can use to baton, you know, a piece of wood to baton with it. But it is I think a well-made, just looking at it, a well-made axe head. It is hand forged in Ukraine. So this is BeaverCraft is out of Ukraine in Europe, and it's got a nice little beard profile coming down. So a good bit on there. So happy about seeing that hand forged, good quality. But what's going to make this different, I think, overall, from something like a Gränsfors Bruk's. Go ahead and take this out and show you the difference. This just, I mean, there's one big advantage, I think, to the BeaverCraft here. If you follow my channel, you know I like Gränsfors Bruk's a lot, so I use their axes quite a bit. But you're going to have a difference of blade profile, and the reason I'm pulling this out is just to show you the difference, is that this is going to have a narrower cheeks coming down to the bit on the Gränsfors Bruk's. But this is going to be, you know, it's not as tapered on the BeaverCraft. So anyway, but just to show you the difference of the blade profile, on the eye up here between the two, this one's going to have a brass pin. Both of them are going to have a wedge. This is going to have a brass pin right there. So, you know, of course, the difference of the pole on the back, you can see the difference there as well. So this is the Gränsfors Bruk's, this is the BeaverCraft. So just to show you the little bit difference between these. One thing I noticed right when I took the BeaverCraft out of the box was the weight. It's definitely heavier than this one. So I've used the Gränsfors Bruk's for a long time. I've noticed the weight was definitely heavier. I think this is 1 pound 10 ounces. This is 1 pound 4 ounces. So, you know, so you got about 6 ounce difference between the two, which is not a lot, but for a little hatchet like this, you can definitely tell the difference. Now, advantage over weight, I don't know. It's going to have probably a little more power when you're going through wood, but they're calling this more of a carving axe, and certainly you can get your hand up over this shoulder right here. It's got a nice lug, they call a lug, coming down right there, holding that shoulder. So, you know, very sturdy for sure. But you can put your hand up there, and I think that's the idea of an axe like this, is you can have a lot of control over something, you know, wood processing, carving, that kind of thing. So overall, I really do like this axe head. I think it's an excellent axe head. For me personally, I would probably prefer, for this size and weight of an axe head, prefer a little bit longer handle on this, maybe even something like a Gränsfors Bruk's small forest axe for an axe head like this. But, you know, really nice axe head. Again, it is hand forged, so you can see all the little markings from the forge in there. So one thing I'll note on this is, because of the profile of the actual blade, again, difference between these, because the profile of the BeaverCraft, it's going to be, I think, better for splitting. Now, this might penetrate better, the Gränsfors Bruk's, because it's got a narrower, you know, more of a taper to the very bevel on there. This has got more of a wedge and it's thicker, and so this is probably going to be better, be my guess, for splitting. We're going to go ahead and test this out here today. And this handle, so this handle is made from ash wood, as opposed to a lot of handles out there that are made from hickory. So this is an ash wood. Now, hickory is going to be a tighter grain. It's going to be typically, people think of hickory as the standard, gold standard of axe handles. However, ash is also an excellent choice. You can see the grain of the hickory is going to be tighter. It's hardwood for sure. The grain orientation of the BeaverCraft, you can see there, it is pretty much up and down. But, it is definitely a little bit on an angle. I think some other folks, when they got their hatchet, it was not up and down, but more horizontal. And you definitely don't want to do that for any kind of axes or hatchets. However, it's not as big of a deal for hatchets. If this was a big axe and the grain orientation was horizontal, which this is just fine, but a lot of them were not, from other people on videos, then I would have serious concerns. But this is just fine, good grain orientation, and even if it wasn't for an axe like this, you're not going to be like, felling trees with this. So that's perfectly okay. Obviously, lanyard hole down here, which you might need in particular for this hatchet, because it doesn't really have too much of a palm swell. I mean, again, compared to the Gransfors Bruks, you definitely got more of a palm swell on the end down there to help hold it. This one's, you can easily see your hand kind of coming off that. So using a lanyard around your wrist or something might be a really good idea for this. But overall, guys, I think I've really enjoyed seeing this. I have tested just a little bit on this, but we're going to go test this some more. But here's the real advantage, I think, for something like this. This is on the website right now, $77 US, okay? This right now on like Amazon or something is 180 bucks. So 77, 180, so $100 more for the Gränsfors Bruks when, I mean, they're going to be very similar on uses. So that's going to be, maybe some of you guys, you don't want to spend 180 bucks on a little hatchet like this. Well, here's your more value budget friendly option. So that's a big advantage. If you still want to be in the woods and have a little hatchet that is really well made, hand forged, all that, but you don't want to spend 180 bucks, well then this might be a great way to go. So I think that's a big advantage to something like this. And the total length on this is right around 1 foot, 12 inches, just under 12 inches total length. And so compare it again to the Gränsfors Bruks, is 13.5 inches. So it's going to be a little bit longer down here. So anyway, again, I probably would prefer slightly longer handle, if not even longer than that, for this kind of axe head. But perfect, I mean, perfect use kind of axe for, around the camp. And wood processing and carving, that kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and test this out, see how it does. Well guys, this performed just as we expected it today. Delimbing, some splitting, feather sticking, all kinds of stuff out here in the woods and with my boys, and so we were playing around with it here today. But I'll drop a link for this down below, and if you've not already done so, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you on the next video.